Hello. I am back with another video, and today I want to talk about what EverQuest Legends got right. This video comes inspired, I guess, if you will, by a comment left on my last video where I talked about my criticisms of the cash shop choices that Daybreak Games decided to put into EverQuest Legends. And so this person, Wake Up If You Can, left this comment and said, I understand everyone's frustration. They closed beta, live streamed 5,000 trade skill storage and 16 persona swaps. But then when open beta launched, there was massive nerfs to that without being in the patch notes or even mentioned anywhere. They should have been more upfront, and I get the frustration. However, I feel like everyone is either overreacting or creating videos for content and making a mountain out of a molehill. I am glad that they created a system that should keep them in business for years. Most EQ players are Gen X or older and have disposable income. I am writing this comment to balance out the overwhelmingly negative comments I am seeing under every video covering this controversy. In summary, EQ Legends devs need to be more open and honest, but I want them to hurry up and get the game launched already. I don't want to play anymore because, the wipe is coming, and then he thanked me for creating the video on there. The reason I wanted to talk about this just briefly is just to recap a little bit about me. I have an executive MBA. I've been in the games industry for 20 years. I run a relatively successful product. We have over 10 million monthly active users. We have millions in annual revenue. With all that being said, I am pro-business and I understand the business angle of games very well. I also truly love EverQuest, and I talk about EverQuest Legends in good faith. I am 100% playing, I am 100% purchasing, and I am 100% making this content because I want to be able to play this game for years to come with my friends. And so that's the context for why I'm making these. Okay, let's get to it. What EverQuest Legends got right. There are 5 main things I think EverQuest Legends got right. The first one is that they didn't announce the game too soon. They announced the game with just a 4-month lead. We're still in that window. It feels like a really long time, but many people have been waiting for GTA 6 for over a decade now. So I think the 4-month window was the right window because it built just the right amount of hype and it gave them enough time to figure some things out that they hadn't figured out yet and get input and feedback into that process and also just kind of feel it out, right? 2, they got the right team together. And I know I'm going to get a lot of hate for this comment. There are people out there who really do not like certain individuals on the Game John team. Those people are entitled to their opinion, but objectively, any individual aside, the core development team of EverQuest Legends truly understands EverQuest. These are people who have spent their free time day in and day out working on emulated servers, doing interesting projects like UIs or kind of visual overhauls. There is a very, very big team. So focusing on any one individual person on that team kind of puts aside the fact that there are 15 or more very talented, passionate people working on EverQuest Legends day in and day out. I don't think any other team could have pulled this off. And certainly the core team that has been working on EverQuest for the last 27 years could not have pulled this off because they did not pull this off in 27 years on their own. And that's just objective. Number 3, simple nostalgia. They leverage very, very simple marketing that certainly reached its target audience. Plus, they built in a feature set that really focused on kind of the classic portion of the game, even though the game has been modified heavily for quality of life and kind of single player dad gamers, if you will, to jump in and want to play this game. And so again, I think they were able to accomplish a lot with very, very little, and they deserve credit for that. They got that right. And this is a comment from a community post that I made on the page, and I think this is another thing that just reigns true, right? After trying the game out, if you have given this game a fair chance, if you were able to give the game a fair chance by playing in alpha for free, or you purchased the game and played in beta, I think that you will probably agree that at its core, killing things feels really, really good in this game. There's a very frenetic pacing to it where you can jump in and just kind of keep your progress going. You can keep that bar moving, you can knock the mobs down, and it's just tons and tons of fun. 4, they unintentionally generated a ton of hype with this promise of alpha keys. Again, I think the positioning may have been a little off. A lot of people thought if you applied, you were going to get one, and that certainly wasn't the case. All those things aside, it was extremely effective. This is an interest over time chart for 2026 from Google Trends. It spikes after the announcement of EverQuest Legends and now is climbing to kind of a fevered pitch, right? 5x the amount of hype from prior. So these keys were even better marketing for this game than they could have gotten with any amount of press, any amount of emails, any amount of people chatting on Discord. Sometimes luck is part of game development. And last but not least, number 5, I think they priced this game right. Cash shop perhaps excluded. We're going to talk about that in just a second here. But $20 and then $10 a month, you can cancel anytime. In 2026 for an MMORPG, with the expectation that there is going to have to be some form of payment for this, I think that this is perfect. Now, moving on, I want to talk about what EverQuest Legends almost got right. The first thing on that list is they almost got right developer communication. They started off by creating kind of an open Discord where people could chat about the game and share their hype and feelings and ask questions. They started off with weekly videos, and that eventually became live streams. And I believe that when they pivoted to live streams, which they did clearly because it was easier to do a live stream than to record hours of footage and then edit it down into a very concise 10-minute explainer. I don't blame them for this because the people that they were having do this also were the developers that are working on the game. But these live streams became a huge double-edged sword. They would say things off the cuff in these live streams, and then people took that as gospel, good or bad, right or wrong. But it set expectations, and those expectations in some cases weren't met, or the things that were said, I don't want to say they weren't true, but they were not well thought out, right? They weren't put through media training filter where you really need to be sure when you say things publicly that everything you say is true. And that's impossible to do in a 1, 2, 3, 4 hour live stream, which is an extremely long period of time to be yapping. Trust me. The other one, they wanted to do a true alpha/beta test. But in 2026, betas no longer mean what they used to. People saw everything as early access, or, I'm a big reader, and they kind of saw it as like an advanced reading copy where you are not expecting there to be massive changes in the plot at the point when you're experiencing that product. Yet they went back and they did change a bunch of things. I think they changed a lot of things for the better. I'm not talking about cash shop stuff. I'm talking about the ability that you can, for example, upgrade spells and other things. Now, there are many systems that got better because of the feedback and because of what they saw. So again, double-edged sword, it went really well both ways. And I just had to share this screenshot. I found this screenshot from one of the very, very early alphas of EverQuest. And these models, these are something else. I mean, if we still had these in 2026, let me tell you, that would be something. And lastly, that brings me back to the developer communication side of things. So to end this off with, here are some examples of that developer communication that I'm talking about. These are all very, very recent. And I want to highlight them because I think it is why so many people leave the passionate comments that they leave about the monetization on EverQuest Legends on videos like mine and many other creators. And it goes like this, right? So this is David Yousefi. He is honestly the only authority I'm listening to when it comes to the cash shop. He works at Daybreak Games, and he is in the room with the people that are making the decision. The people that are making the decision, in part, I'm sure a part of GameJohn, they are being consulted, but these are the final decision makers, again, because their money is on the line. When it's your cash, you make the calls. And some of these comments just leave things extremely open-ended. And I don't blame them for that, and it's smart, but it may just be better in some cases to, I guess, not make the comment, because this only leads to more speculation and more angst. So they said, hey, we will be providing more detail by launch about what we're planning to add to the game between now and the end of the year. So they're going to release a roadmap. I think that's reasonable and that's good, and that'll get people hyped too. Most of it is in the subscription, but some of the features are going to be in the shop. So now people are already going, oh, well, what I got to pay for, or what am I getting for free? Which I see a lot of comments suggested. It's not free. You pay 20 bucks for the game and you're paying $10 a month to be able to continue to experience it. So every single person that's playing the game is a paying user. If you pay more, does that make you a better user? I don't know, maybe. I want to lean toward cosmetics, but there could be some convenience items in the shop too. So again, you know, the red flag starts to wave with a lot of people here. It's like, hey, wait a minute, what are you talking about? And there's a comment which I agree with. I work on a free-to-play product, and no free-to-play product is ever really free. It's always a degraded version of what a full product would be if you were paying for it. That said, when you start to layer in a box fee, a subscription, and a cash shop, you're kind of degrading the game as well there too. So take that for what you will. There's always a shop or a sub on top of it. Okay, I mean, we're there right now too. There is a shop and a sub on top of paying for the box in the case of EverQuest Legends. In EverQuest Legends, the subscription will help cover costs, but more importantly, in my opinion, it will help keep out fraud and toxicity that comes from an open door to the entire internet. 100% agree. One of the biggest problems that I deal with in my product day in and day out is just the fact that there are people out there that have infinite time, way more time than me or my team has, and they will come in and decide that they want to ruin your product. So this is a very true statement. I agree on all fronts so far here. The idea here was to balance the game with a low cost sub and a reasonably priced shop, in his opinion. Let's see how that goes, and we can always adjust and adapt. Again, this comment to me reads like free to play is on the table if XYZ doesn't go right according to plan. That's probably smart from a business perspective to be able to pivot and be willing to shift gears. But again, it doesn't inspire a lot of confidence in people who are just looking for a very clear answer on what this game is going to be. And then someone chimed in, I'm not picking on this person, I'm just gonna read their comment. I think it could be nice to add in additional tiers to the sub like you can do with retail EverQuest. Maybe perks like if you pay an extra $2 a month for something that gives you some bonuses, gives you more faction or a lower cooldown on origin or the speed cast of rituals, etc. Things that I don't think would be power, but considered convenience things. Interesting take, I guess. And then David Yusefi says here, I agree with that. We're still in the early days, but I definitely want to stay away from selling power. So again, this sounds like, hey, we need more money, we'll start adding in more stuff. So there you go. Again, I don't think it's bad that he's being honest here, and maybe he wants to be able to say, I told you so, but I think it just doesn't really help where we're at right now with fanning the flames, if you will. So there's our video for today. I didn't really necessarily want to end on a negative note, but I think it's really important to have balance in all things. So this is what EverQuest got right and some of the things they almost got right. If you enjoyed watching today, please hit that subscribe button, hit the like button. If you didn't like it, dislike it, and I will see you in the next video.